My name is Jeannie Vidal. I lost my son, Jarrell Rios, to suicide on February 17, 2000. My son was very loving, giving, curious, affectionate, funny. He loved to play around. He had an average childhood. He was loved. He knew he was loved. There is no change. There's no signs. Wednesday night, he was laughing and playing around with his girlfriend on the phone. Thursday, he killed himself. There was no signs at all. I even asked his doctor. Doctor said no, there was no signs of depression. I was actually in Pierce all the day. I was hunting. Okay. And he always got home around 6:30 in the afternoon. He hadn't called me, told me anything. And I'm like calling my mom, Mom, where's Jarrell? Is he with you? And she's like, no, And they lived, the two houses where we lived, they were my grandparents' houses. So my mom lived in one, I lived in the other. So I asked her, go check on him, right? So she waited like an hour before she went to check on him. And then she called me, she goes, you need to get back over here, something happened. And she wouldn't tell me what. I'm going like 90 on the highway. And all of a sudden, the first thing I hear is a snap right in front of my face. It's like, look what's in front of you. And if I didn't listen to that snap, to me that was God telling me, look, I would have rear-ended an 18-wheeler. We would have both been gone that night. And I asked why. Why didn't God take me with him that night? I think he should have. I don't want to be here without my son. I don't. And he's my only child. Because people ask me, do I ever think about it? Every day of my life since he died. I'm not married. I don't have any other children. What's it to go home to? My mom's the one who found him. Yeah, that was her, I hate to say this, but that was her favorite grandson. I wish he didn't do what he did, He hung himself. Well, actually, he didn't hang himself. He got a belt. Those knitted belts that look like braids? And he choked himself to death. So to me, he had so much anger, so much hurt and pain for him to do that. How do you physically hurt yourself like that? Last year, we had an 8-year-old boy in Somerset, Texas, kill himself. 8 years old. What the hell? What's going on through your life that you're 8 years old? Or what are they doing to you that's causing that? I always think we all go through phases in life. Some good, some bad. It's the good that we appreciate. The bad, we appreciate even more because it makes us a stronger person. And we learn by those mistakes. At least I hope we learn. I work like in 6 different organizations throughout San Antonio, besides for suicide prevention. My doctor tried to put me on medicines, but I tell him I'm going to get depressed just knowing I'm on antidepressants. Pills not going to change what happened. It might help your feelings for a while, but then you get addicted to that pill. So in the long run, how does that help you? A good day is when I can actually wake up in the morning, get out of bed, and go on with life. A bad day, basically every day, because, even though I go on with life, there's that emptiness. I feel like a zombie walking around, like there's no purpose in life anymore. In the past, I'd get drunk. That's how I coped, drinking, and now I just don't drink at all because it doesn't help either. So I can't blame God for my son doing what he did. This was his choice, his decision. In fact, the right one, it affected all of us. Didn't see what it was going to do to us. But I always tell people, you gotta forgive God. You have to forgive yourself, and you especially have to forgive that, the person that did what he did, because they need forgiveness too. They don't know what they were doing at that time. They got so many things going through their head. We don't walk in their shoes. We don't know what they're going through. They're not thinking about us when they're going through what they're going through. They're thinking about their own pain. They want out. They don't know how to cope. They don't know how to move on from that pain. So I forgive my son for what he did. And yet I forgive myself too, because every day I have to live with that guilt. As a parent, I have to live with that guilt. And that's a never-ending guilt. It's like you have a big emptiness, a hole inside you that nothing's ever going to fulfill it. So it doesn't matter how many events or how many organizations or whatever, or how much I work, nothing's ever going to fill that hole, because he's the only person that can fill it. In the past, nobody ever wanted to talk about it because it was taboo, it was stigma, everybody was embarrassed to talk about it. But people really need to get the word out there and start being embarrassed and stop thinking because they did it, it's your fault. It's nobody's fault. And forgive yourself for whatever you did or didn't do for her that made her do this. I do it with my son all the time, and that's an everyday thing. They need to raise more awareness. They need to have more resources. They need to promote it more. You gotta make time. You gotta appreciate the people that are around you, family or friends. You know, and listen to them when they talk. I had no idea he was gonna do this. You know, nobody did. You know, I mean, his doctor didn't know. Nobody knew. So, but even if they cry for help, are you listening? We need to get out there.